Hello and welcome to Codivate's Intro to Block-Based Programming in Scratch. This is Lesson 8. Today we are learning variables. Now, variables, simply put, are a place where you can store data. That's it. An analogy for real life is that they are like written language for humans. Before we knew what variables were in Scratch, so all the lessons up until now, we've been doing the equivalent of oral tradition, where someone tells someone something, and then that person tells another person something, and things get forgotten very quickly in that scenario. But with written language, you can't forget things, right? When someone writes something down, you can't forget it because you can just read it. And that is exactly the same as variables. Variables, you get to write down some data, like a word or a number, and you get to use it later. So, some real-life examples of using variables would be in video games all the time. Whenever something is being kept track of in a video game, it's a variable. So, how much health do you have? That's a variable. How much XP do you have? That's a variable. How much, any number at all, how much it is, that's a variable. Basically, everything that is being checked whether or not it's true would be a variable. So, like, anything that's being kept track of, is what I'm saying. In not video games, in actual everyday life, bank accounts and balance IDs, bank account balances and IDs, sorry, are generally what we would consider to be a variable. They're not technically actually variables, they're more like data in databases, but they're basically just fancy variables. So, I'm going to call them variables. Alright, consider this. With variables, we are able to do things like this. We can have some number that shows how hungry the Scratch cat is. Let's say high numbers are hungry, low numbers are full. You can just use a variable to keep track of that. So, now I'm going to show you how to actually make these variables in Scratch. I'm just going to pull it up real quick. Alright. So, if you go to the right side of the screen, there will be this orange section called variables. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at it. So there's my variable, there's a set, a change, a show, and a hide. The show and hide aren't really that important to us, so really there's only 3 blocks. There's the bubble, and set, and change. So, what are bubbles? Well, bubbles, this thing that has a check mark next to it, are things we've already used, actually. We've used X position, which was a bubble, and I'll show you where it is. We've used X position, which was right here. We've also used answer, which is right here. They are both bubbles, or variables. You can put bubbles into any opening that has something like that. Remember these Boolean blocks that tell you whether something's true or false? You can put bubbles in here, and we've done that in the past. And with these new variables we're going to make, you can put variables in them as well. Just like this, you can make it say your variable for your variable number of seconds if you want it to. So, another cool thing you can do is you can click on a variable / bubble to see what its value is. You can see someone doing it here. Now I'm going to talk about the set block. The set block changes the value of the bubble. So, it doesn't matter what the value was previously, it just overwrites that value. So, let's say your bubble is 17 right now, and you run this set my variable to 0. You click on that block, or you use a when green flag clicked on top of it, and you click the green flag. Now the variable is equal to 0. It doesn't matter what it was before, it's now just 0. It's overwritten with whatever you put in here. So, it completely loses what was in the variable beforehand, so be wary of that. Alright, now the change block also changes the value of the variable. However, it does it in a slightly different way. Instead of just completely replacing the number, it adds to the number. So let's say the value is 20 right now. If you run, change my variable by 1, it becomes 21. So it adds 1. And if you want to decrease the variable, you just change it by a negative number. So if it was 20, and you ran this bottom block, which said change my variable by -1, it would just become 19. So you can also use variables to store answers. Now, remember when I said you can put variables inside of bubbles? These are bubbles right here. So you can put variables in them. You can put the answer variable in there. So if you have some structure like this, where you have the ask, and then you have a set variable to the answer, that lets you store the answer for as long as you want. So you can ask a second question while keeping the answer to the first question. That's why you use this type of format right here. Alright, that's basically how they work. I'm going to walk you through some exercises now. So try to pause them and do them on your own. And see what you do. Alright, first one. If I have a variable with a value of 7, and I call change my variable by 3, what's the new value? This should be relatively simple. Alright, let me set it up here. So, we have my variable. Let's set it to 7. Now it says 7. And thing was change my variable by 3. So we change it by 3. So right now I click on it, it says 7. I change it by 3. It adds 3 to the 7. 3 plus 7 is 9. Not 9, 10. And it gives me 10. And that's how that works. Person doing it right here. Alright, next one. If the variable starts at 20, and I say set my variable to 3, not change, what's the new value? Pause it, try it out. Alright, let's do it again. So I will set the variable to 20 to start off. Now it says 20. And we want to set it to 3. So I will set it to 3. So remember, when I said the set block just overwrites the number, it doesn't matter what the number was to begin with. It could be 20, it could be 200. It doesn't matter. If I type set to 3, it's 3. Doesn't matter what it was before. So the new value is indeed 3. Next thing. Alright, instead of writing the program, now you're reading a program. What is the value of the variable at each step in this program? You have set the variable to 5, then you have change the variable by 1, then you have change the variable by 1 again. Okay. Instead of going on Scratch, I'm going to use a whiteboard here and draw it out. So, we said that it started at 5 and then it was changed by 1 twice. So, let's just say it's 5 to start off. Is that being captured? Yes, it is. Okay. So, starts at 5. Then we wait a second, then it changes by 1. So what's 5 plus 1? 6. And now the 5 is crossed out because it's not 5 anymore, now it's 6. Then we change by 1 again. 6 plus 1 is 7. Cross out the 6, write 7. 7 should be our final answer. And if we check our work, it starts 5, 6, 7. This little square here, it can be showed under the green flag if you check the box next to the bubble. It'll display it right here. Alright, another one. Same kind of question, except you're changing the variable by -1. And I'm going to do it the same way. So let's erase all of this. It starts at 5. Alright, we're changing, so we're adding to the number. We're adding -1 to our 5. What's 5 plus -1? 4. So cross out 5, write 4. Alright, now we change it by -1 again. What's 4 plus -1? That's a 3. And that's our answer. It should be our answer. We have 5, 2, or 3. Alright. Next one. Okay, this one has some loops in it as well. We have, it starts at 9. It's set to 9, so it doesn't matter what it was before. Now it's 9. And then for 5 times, you're going to change the variable by 3. Okay, so let's do that. So we have set it to 9. So it starts at 9. Then 5 times. We're going to have 5 numbers here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're going to have 5 changes. We are changing it by 3, so we're adding 3 because it's changed, not set. We're adding 3 to our 9. So what's 9 plus 3? 12. What's 12 plus 3? 15. What's 15 plus 3? 18. And then 21. And then 24. That was 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 changes. 24 is our final answer. So if we see, it goes up to 24. Starts at 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. And does that. Alright. This one. It still starts at 9. There's no loop this time. Instead, we're changing it by 3, and then we're setting it to 1. So, at each step in the program. So at the beginning, it should be 9, because we're setting it to 9. So, 9 is our first number. Then, we add 3, because this is a change block, so we're adding. So we add 3. So on step 1, it's 9. Step 2, it's 12, because 9 plus 3 is 12. And then step 3, the last step, we set it to 1. Oh, it's set. So it doesn't even matter what the other number was. It's just 1. 9, 12, 1 is the order the number goes in. 9, 12, 1. There you go. Alright, now you're writing again. Make a program where you set the variable to 0, and then increase it by 3, and you repeat that 4 times. This might be a little confusing. So you're increasing it by 3, and you're repeating that action 4 times. So try it. Alright? This is it. Alright, so you set the variable to 0, as it said up here. Set it to 0. And then you're repeating the action 4 times. 4 times. So you have a repeat 4. And then you're changing it, you're increasing it by 3, which is just change by 3. This wait block is just there so you can see the number as it goes up. Next one. Write a program where you subtract 3 from a variable 7 times, then set the variable to 6. Okay, notice how I didn't tell you what number the variable started at. So this might change depending on what the variable starts at. Maybe it starts at 20 and it goes down. Maybe it starts at -2 and it goes further down. We don't know. But at the end, you're setting it to 6. So at the end, it's going to be 6. We know that for sure. Alright, try it. So here, again, repeating 7 times, because it says 7 times, and you're subtracting 3. How do we subtract 3 from a variable? We change it by -3. So repeating 7 times, we're changing it by 3. Then after we do that, we set the variable to 6, and that's just one line here. Alright, one more thing that I think I forgot to mention was how you actually create more variables. There's this button here called Make a Variable. You just make it, you type whatever you want, variable 2, and now there's another variable. And if you want to pick which variable you're changing, you want to set variable 2 to 3, but my variable to 4, you can do it like this. Variable 2, set it to 3, and then my variable, set it to 4, and now they have different values. So you can select which variable you're changing by using this drop-down menu. Alright, that is all. Thank you for watching.